the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, the Daily Racing Forum, and the National Turf Riders and Broadcasters welcome you to the 50th Eclipse Awards. Presented by historic Spendthrift Farm. And brought to you by the Breeders' Cup, Keeneland, Four Roses Bourbon, and TVG.
Get ready, because in 2021, the Breeders' Cup returns to Del Mar, the best in the sport on the ultimate stage. Expect lights, cameras, and non-stop action.
Isn't it great when things come together just right? Four Roses Small Batch brings together 4 of our 10 distinct bourbon recipes to achieve an award-winning bourbon with exceptional balance and a smoothness that's enjoyable neat, on the rocks, or as the foundation of a craft cocktail. Four Roses Small Batch, a perfectly balanced top-shelf staple. Be mellow. Be responsible.
Get ready, because in 2021, the Breeders' Cup returns to Del Mar, the best in the sport on the ultimate stage. Expect lights, cameras, and non-stop action.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile past performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the new mobile optimized DRF past performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
It's crazy to think that this time last year, most of you joined us right here in this room. A packed house, an industry coming together to celebrate well-deserved champions. Tonight, however, we join you from an empty room, and you join us virtually from your homes. And we find ourselves not only celebrating the champions from 2020, but also the fact that we made it through one of the most challenging years both our industry and world has ever seen.
It's been a different year for racing, to say the least, but our industry has also made some remarkable accomplishments along the way. We were able to have the Triple Crown, though it was a little bit out of order, the Breeders' Cup World Championships, and many of the iconic races on our calendar as we pay tribute to our traditions while adapting to the world around us. One of our sponsors, Four Roses, knows all about continuing history as it dates back to a love story from 1888. The name Four Roses refers to a corsage of 4 red roses that Paul Jones gave to a Southern belle more than a century ago.
So tonight, we invite you to sit back, relax, and pour yourself a Four Roses Hey Honey cocktail.
Or one of the classics, the Roses on the Rocks, and enjoy the show.
Cheers.
While most of the sports world has either canceled or suspended play, horse racing at most major tracks across the country will continue to compete with no fan access.
This is a Triple Crown season. It has been different, but it's a Triple Crown season that at the beginning of it, we didn't know if we'd be able to complete.
Properly social distanced. We've gone through the protocols, Gabby. We've had the temperature checks, the things that we've grown accustomed to when it comes to just encountering society.
While we have changed how we conduct the sport right now, one thing remains true. The heart and soul of racing is alive and well, and there are great races to come.
After a year like no other, we come together to celebrate a tradition which has been a model of consistency for the past 50 years. Celebrating champions, not just this evening, but those whose bloodlines are woven like a fine fabric, creating our sport's great tapestry. Since the very beginning, our host, Spendthrift Farm, has provided one of the strongest threads. Their historic barn is covered with plaques honoring the numerous Eclipse Award winners foaled there. One of the first, both alphabetically and of importance, is ACAC, none other than the very first Eclipse Award winner as Horse of the Year. And there is every chance that Spendthrift will sew up a few more tonight, adding to their collection. Yes, for 5 decades, the Eclipse Awards have stitched cherished memories with spirited debate. Who are the very best of the best? 50 Horses of the Year, 5 Triple Crown winners, with the likes of Zenyatta, Ruffian, John Henry, and Cigar competing for the brightest of spotlights. Indeed, the very best of the best. Fans have selected their favorites, and a little later this evening, we'll unveil their top 10. And for 50 years, the job of carefully rolling out the Eclipse Awards ceremonial cloth has belonged to master craftsmen and women almost as legendary as the horses they have saluted. John Forsythe, Tim Conway, Janine Edwards, and last year's trio of Acacia Courtney, Brittany Urton, and Gabby Gaudet are among those who have walked that runway. The very first MC was J.B. Faulkner, the designer who hemmed the Eclipse Award partnership together in the first place. And like the horses we honor tonight, his pedigree continues to thrive as the grandfather of Congressman Andy Barr, one of the authors of the recently passed Horse Racing Integrity Act, positioning the future to be even more radiant than our past. Yes, it was indeed a year like no other, but our sport, with its historic roots, was tailor-made to stand the test. And so tonight, as we have for 49 years before, we come together to honor the very best. Welcome to the 50th Eclipse Awards.
Hi, I'm Eric Gustafson, president of Spendthrift Farm. It's truly an honor to have the opportunity to host this year's ceremony here at Spendthrift on what is such a special anniversary. As mentioned in the opening, ACAC was the first Horse of the Year honoree back in 1971 and one of 21 Eclipse Award winners to date that were conceived here at Spendthrift Farm. For the last half-century, the Eclipse Awards have represented the very best our sport has to offer, both human and equine, and we look forward to honoring the best from 2020. The show will look a little different this year, as we are unable to gather amongst friends and colleagues due to the pandemic. While we are hopeful we will be able to see each other in person next year, our team looks forward to saluting 50 years of the Eclipse Awards this evening the best way we can, including reintroducing some past champions here at the farm. We hope you enjoy the show. Without further ado, here is your host for the evening, Kenny Rice.
Thanks very much, Eric. Good evening, everyone. It certainly is my distinct honor to be here to welcome you to the 50th Annual Eclipse Awards presented by historic Spendthrift Farm. And of course, more history will be made tonight with the Eclipse Award winners forever being identified as being extra special in 2020. I think I'm here because I might be the only person who didn't own a piece of Derby and Breeders' Cup Champ Authentic. Thousands in 2020 learned of something called microshares and how to become involved in the sport, and they got a champion to boot. And certainly in the year of Zoom calls, what a perfect time to be involved in the action, even when you didn't always have to be there. And as with everyone else, 2020 was like nothing else. With all sports being affected, racing set the standard for that bubble that became so popular with other sports. And while those other sports waited, racing never stopped. Oh, sure, adjustments were made along the way, schedules rearranged, but January through December, there was horse racing. Not exactly like always, but always racing. I'm here in Lexington, Kentucky to anchor this year's program. As Eric just said, this year's ceremony is brought to you with a bit of a twist. Just like racing itself, some rearranging, but no stopping the Eclipse Awards. And I'm happy to say we're going coast to coast to announce the winners in 17 horse and human categories, leading, of course, to the coveted Horse of the Year title. And I'm surrounded by an array of talented co-hosts. Acacia Courtney and Gabby Gaudet will be presenting from Gulfstream Park in Florida. Gary Stevens and Jay Pribman from Santa Anita Park in California. Kenny Mayne from the ESPN studios. And finally, just down the road from here, Brittany Urton and Janine Edwards will be presenting at Spendthrift Farm. A reminder now of how the champions in each category were determined. The Eclipse Awards are voted upon by representatives from 3 voting groups. They are the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, whose members are comprised of member racetrack officials and Equibase field personnel. Second, the National Turf Riders and Broadcasters. And third, the Daily Racing Forum. There are 3 finalists in each category, which were determined by the voters' top choices using the 10-5 and 1-point basis. However, Eclipse Award winners were determined solely by first-place votes. A total of 238 out of 249 eligible individuals, that's 95.5%, took part in the voting. That's how special and how important the Eclipse Awards are. Also tonight, in keeping with our 50th year celebration, we asked fans to vote for their top 10 favorite Eclipse Award champion horses and their favorite champion trainer and jockey from the past 50 years in the NTRA Eclipse 50 contest. We'll count down those outstanding 10 horses and top jockey and trainer during the show. And now let's begin with our countdown at number 10.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 10. Despite starting his career in a decade that featured 3 Triple Crown winners, Spectacular Bid takes a backseat to none in the annals of all-time talent. A champion at ages 2, 3, and 4, the son of Bold Bidder won 26 of 30 career starts, setting or matching track records 8 times and bringing a 10-race win streak into his coronation in the 1979 Kentucky Derby. He ended his career in flawless fashion with an undefeated 4-year-old campaign.
And now let's begin with our awards. We'll start with the champion older male. And with that, let's go out to Spendthrift Farm and Brittany Urton.
Thank you, Kenny. It's an honor to be at Spendthrift Farm for the 50th Annual Eclipse Awards, a place so many champions have called home, including last year's Eclipse Award winner for older dirt male, Vino Rosso, who, fittingly, is here and posing to help us out for the evening's first award. This year's finalists look to join the ranks of some of racing's greats: Cigar, Curlin, Spectacular Bid, and 4-time winner Forgo, just to name a few. They dazzled us on dirt, going short and long from coast to coast. Vino, you ready? Here are the finalists for this year's champion older dirt male.
Given thousands of horses foaled every year, mathematics suggests that top-level success for any one of them is, well, improbable. Flaunting that reality, the horse with the very name improved as a 4-year-old, winning 3 Grade 1 races in succession, including the Whitney Stakes. Roaming the world with a flair, Maximum Security reminded fans that with his infamy comes plenty of talent. He began the year in faraway Saudi Arabia, running first in the richest race in the world. Back home, his triumphs included a favorite of California fans, the TVG Pacific Classic. Horse racing is quick to celebrate victories that come in threes, and Vekoma put his own stamp on that pattern. He won all 3 of his races of 2020, and his 7-length score in the Grade 1 Carter led to a climactic victory in the historic Run Happy Metropolitan Handicap.
And the Eclipse Award for older dirt male goes to Improbable. Improbable was a 2017 Keeneland September yearling sales grad and in early years coined Baby Justify. But after a 2020 campaign including 3 Grade 1 wins, a nickname not needed. Improbable is a name you won't likely forget. Accepting the award on behalf of Improbable's ownership group is David Hanley, General Manager of WinStar Farm.
It's an honor to accept this award on behalf of WinStar and our partners China Horse Club and SF. I'd like to thank the Trout family for the opportunity to work with these wonderful animals and do what we love every day. Mr. Trout is one in a million, has a great passion for this business, and genuinely cares for everybody that works at WinStar Farm. I'd also like to thank Elliot Walden for his management of Improbable's racing career, our braking team and pre-training team at WinStar, who are one of the best. I'd like to thank Bob Baffert, Jimmy Barnes, and his team for the wonderful job they did with Improbable throughout his 3-year career. And I'd like to say thank you to the NTRA, DRF, and the National Turf Riders Association for presenting us with this prestigious award. Hope everybody has a great evening and even a better 2021. Thank you.
And now for the champion older female. And with that, let's go to Janine Edwards.
Thanks, Kenny. There are 100 mares here at Spendthrift, but only one can be queen. That would be Queen Bee, Bee Holder. She's got doting caretakers and an admiring court, and in just a few weeks, she'll be a mama for the 4th time. Her reign on the track as a 3-time Breeders' Cup winner and 4-time champion put her amongst the most exceptional mares of our time, joining greats like Zenyatta, Azeri, and Royal Delta as recent repeat champions. So who will wear the crown this year? The finalists for Champion Older Dirt Female are...
Few horses we saw last year had been around as long as Midnight Bisou. The Old Darlings campaign at 5 was short, but she still had her high style, as was witnessed in a victory in the Fleur de Lis Stakes at Churchill Downs. Monomoy Girl was another 5-year-old we have revered for a long time. After spending an entire year away from the track, she returned to be a bright spot in 2020. The returning champion put a final stamp on her comeback season in the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. The lady with the exotic name of Serengeti Empress entered her 4-year-old season with a reputation for speed and the ability to carry it. She also was known for gameness, as she proved again in the Grade 1 Ballerina at Old Saratoga.
And the Eclipse Award goes to Monomoy Girl. Michael Jordan and his comeback got nothing on this gal, a Keeneland September grad who's now back in training with Brad Cox, pointing for the Bayakoa at Oaklawn on February 15th. How thrilling for us that she'll be racing again in 21. No one more excited than her owners. Accepting on their behalf is Saul Cumin.
Thank you. This is great. I think the last time I spoke at one of these, the music started playing pretty quickly and I got kicked off the stage. So the good news is nobody can kick me out of my house today. I wanted to first thank my partners for allowing me to represent them here today. Mike Dubb, Stuart Grant, Mike Caruso, along with my other partners in Monomoy Stables. This filly's taken all of us on an incredible journey, and it's been a privilege to own her alongside a great group of partners and friends. A few other people to thank. Firstly, Brad Cox. Brad, I know how much this filly has meant to you personally and to your career. Your first Grade 1 winner. You said to me last year, if you can win a Grade 1 with this horse, after 18 months off and all she'd been through, it would be the best training job of your career. You did it. Thank you and congratulations. You're one of the hardest working and most genuine people I've met in my life, and I feel lucky to call you a friend. I wanted to thank Brad's assistants, Tessa, Jorge, Dustin, Ricky, her groom, Darwin, and her exercise riders, Fernando and Donnie. I wanted to thank Paul Sharp and his team for all the work that they've done with Monomoy Girl and many of our other horses, WinStar Farm and Dr. Sutter for taking care of her during her time off. Florent, you've ridden her 14 of the 15 times she's run. You're the best. Thank you for everything. There's no way we'd be here today without you. And lastly, Liz Crow, the first ticket you signed when you branched out on your own. I wanted to read something that you wrote in a recent email. Quote, "It's hard to describe how life-changing Monomoy Girl has been for everyone involved. The careers she launched, the dreams she made come true, and excitement she created every time she ran is stuff of only fairy tales and movies. I think that sums it up best. I feel lucky to have owned many great race horses in my life, but this one is at the top of the list. Thank you, Monomoy Girl."
Welcome to the 50th Annual Eclipse Awards, honoring thoroughbred champions from 2020. Due to COVID-19, the Eclipse Awards this year are being held virtually, one of the many events that our industry has been forced to reimagine as a result of the pandemic. But through each of the challenges, our industry truly has shown resiliency and optimism, and we have come together to rise to the occasion, one of the many silver linings of the pandemic. So tonight, we gather to honor this year's champions. In fulfillment of our mission, Keeneland is very pleased to be a sponsor of this year's Eclipse Awards. Keeneland enjoys a rich connection to tonight's finalists. 15 of them, led by 3 nominated for Horse of the Year, were offered at Keeneland sales. Also, a number of the equine and human athletes were here on our grounds for our summer race meet, our fall race meet, and for the Breeders' Cup World Championships presented here at Keeneland in November 2020. And so, on behalf of the Keeneland team, we join the entire thoroughbred industry in congratulating the finalists for the 2020 Eclipse Awards this year.
If we learned anything in 2020, it's that horse players are a resilient bunch. And no one was more resilient or passionate about playing the ponies over much of his 87 years than Larry King, who we lost this past week due to coronavirus. Larry was a regular Eclipse Awards presenter during our forays to California for this event. He would have been especially thrilled to present our next award, the Eclipse Award for Horse Player of the Year, which has come to symbolize all horse players who fuel every aspect of our game with their wagering dollars. This year we honor Thomas Goldsmith of Montgomery, Texas, who bested a field of nearly 700 entries at the NTRA National Horse Players Championship in February at the NHC's beautiful new home, Bally's Las Vegas. For his effort, Thomas took home $800,000 and something that money can't buy, an Eclipse Award as the Horse Player of the Year.
Thank you. I would like to thank Michelle, Keith, and the entire staff of the NTRA, Bally's Casino and their staff for hosting the NHC, Lone Star Park, Brandon Lee for hosting a qualifying tournament. I would like to thank all contestants who participating in handicapping tournaments throughout the year. In addition, a shout out to these following horses: Just Smokin', Golden Tappet, Touching Rainbows, Summer Bourbon, Toto Santos, Admiralty Pier, River Boyne, Bluegrass, Cat Smile, All Fact, Sweet Mia, Classy of course, and Misty Blue. Thanks for getting to the wire first. And finally, thank you, horse racing. From the racetracks to the owners, trainers, jockeys, grooms, backstretch staff, track staff, and everyone else involved in the greatest game. Thanks for keeping each other safe and keeping the game going last summer when all sports were shut down. We needed it. And for that, I applaud you.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 9. Forgo exerted his superiority throughout his 6 seasons on the track. The 3-time Horse of the Year held his own as a sophomore, but it was his 4-year-old season where his legacy took flight.
Forgo in front.
The versatile Forgo earned the 1974 Eclipse Awards for Champion Sprinter, Champion Older Horse, and Horse of the Year. Forgo continued to reign over the handicap division until age 7.
And now our next award, the Steeplechase Champion. And for that, here's Acacia Courtney.
The 2020 steeplechase season was hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. There were about half as many races as usual, about a third as much of the purse money distributed, and there were no stakes at Saratoga. However, despite a challenging season, the partnership of Bruton Street US campaigned all 3 finalists in this next category, which is an unprecedented feat since the Eclipse Awards adopted its current format of 3 finalists back in the early 2000s. Bruton Street US is comprised of Mike Hankin, Charlie Fenwick, and Charlie Noel, and they campaign horses in England, Ireland, and the US, including 2017 champion Scorpiancer. Here are the finalists for Champion Steeplechase Horse.
The exacting and exciting steeplechase division saw all 3 finalists gathered at Saratoga in 2020. The 9-year-old English horse Moscato had won the historic Temple Gwathmey in Virginia before taking one of 2 races at the Spa, the Grade 1 A.P. Smith-Eck Memorial. The Irish-bred Rashan, bred by the Aga Khan, is an 8-year-old who made only 2 starts in the interrupted racing of the year. However, his last one was a Grade 1 triumph when he took the New York Turf Riders Handicap at Saratoga. An unbeaten campaign of 3 races was turned in by the 6-year-old Snap Decision, bred by the Phipps family. The final of his trio of wins also came at Saratoga when he won the Michael G. Walsh.
The Eclipse Award for Champion Steeplechase goes to Moscato. Moscato won back-to-back graded stakes in 2020, including a Grade 1 at Saratoga. Accepting is co-owner Mike Hankin.
Charlie Knoll and Maribel Stables, Charlie Fenwick and I are honored to accept the 2020 Eclipse Award recognizing Moscato. In a very tough year for racing, we were lucky to have several horses perform incredibly well, and 3 became Eclipse Award finalists. Each of these horses started out on the flat, one in Ireland, one in the UK, and one in the US, and then graduated to run over steeplechase fences. We have a special spot in our hearts for Moscato. In 4 years, he has won or placed in 6 graded stakes. Often, other horses in our stable receive more glory, but in 2020, Moscato was the star, winning a Grade 3 in Virginia and a Grade 1 at Saratoga. We want to thank the Bruton Street team led by Jack Fisher, who trained Moscato and Snap Decision, and also Leslie Young, who trained our other finalist, Rashan. We also want to express our appreciation to the NTRA for their continued support of steeplechase racing. And lastly, we wish everyone involved in racing a healthy and we hope a post-pandemic year of racing in 2021. Thank you.
The horses that we celebrate here tonight have accomplished incredible feats on the racetrack, and they deserve to be celebrated. However, we must also highlight those that have found their callings in new careers after their racing days are over. The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is the official charity of the Eclipse Awards, and as the founder and president of Racing for Home, a TAA-accredited aftercare organization, I am so proud of the steps we as an industry has taken to bring this topic to the forefront. However, we still have a lot of work to do. These thoroughbreds give us incredible thrills on the racetrack, and it is our responsibility to show up for them today and in the future. It is my great pleasure to introduce Jimmy Bell, the president of the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
Thanks, Acacia, not only for your professional involvement, but your personal commitment to the TAA and aftercare in general. We are very honored to have been selected as the official charity for these Eclipse Awards. The TAA, since its inception, has accredited over 81 organizations, and in doing so, we spread across some 170 facilities and have looked after some 11,000 thoroughbreds, and in the process, awarded over $20 million. Because of our attention to detail and a very rigorous accreditation standards, the TAA has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, and that has been vital for our funding mechanisms. Sustainable funding will be the critical component moving forward for the success of the TAA. We've made great relationships, we're looking for more opportunities, and we're most thankful for all the support we've been given by the industry. 2020 was rough in so many ways, and looking back on those that we lost in our industry, there's perhaps no one that was more dedicated, more invested, more caring about the TAA and aftercare in general than our sweet Ashton Moynihan. She and so many others impacted our industry.
How fitting to end our in memoriam tribute with Prince Khalid bin Abdullah, who leaves with us an indelible stamp of outstanding contributions and achievements upon the global racing and breeding community, led by such remarkable champions as Frankel, Dancing Brave, Arrogate, and Enable. Prince Khalid bred more than 440 stakes winners, and under the banner of Juddmonte Farm was named the Outstanding Eclipse Award breeder on 5 occasions. So in his spirit of greatness, let's move on to the Outstanding Breeder Award. And to present the award, here's Jen Shaw with Dean Dorton.
Thanks, Kenny. I'm here tonight to present the award for Outstanding Breeder of the Year. Our firm, Dean Dorton, has the privilege of working with many breeding farms across the country and around the globe, including some of tonight's finalists and our host farm for this year's Eclipse Awards. From proactive tax planning to providing quality financials to assist horse and farm owners with operational decisions, our firm is committed to the thoroughbred industry and its participants. Now let's take a look at the finalists for this year's Outstanding Breeder Award.
For any breeder, it is difficult to reach higher than trying to produce a horse that can win the Kentucky Derby or the Breeders' Cup Classic. Peter E. Blum Thoroughbreds in 2020 came up with a horse that won both. This was Horse of the Year candidate, Authentic. Calumet Farm was the leading breeder in earnings for the year with more than $9.6 million. This harked back to the days when the historic farm was leading breeder 11 years in succession. Among the Calumet bred stars of 2020 was Zulu Alpha, which won 3 graded turf stakes, including the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. The WinStar Farm of Kenny Trout is well established as a perennial leader in many aspects of racing. In 2020, the Kentucky-based operation was represented by winners of more than $9.2 million. WinStar's 5 Grade 1 winners included the superb filly Swiss Skydiver, winner of the Alabama and Preakness Stakes.
I am so pleased to announce the winner of the Eclipse Award is one of our clients, WinStar Farm. Congratulations to the entire WinStar team. Accepting on behalf of WinStar is Elliot Walden, President and CEO.
I want to thank the NTRA, the DRF, and the National Turf Riders Association for this prestigious award. 5 Grade 1 wins, 4 Grade 1 winners like Global Campaign, Swiss Skydiver, She Dares the Devil, and Paris Lights, 13 graded stakes wins. None of it would be possible without the help of a great team. David Hanley, our general manager, does an awesome job in leading this team, leading a team of 180 strong that come to work each and every day, dedicated to give their best. It's been a phenomenal year, and I can't help but think that it would not be possible without Kenny and Lisa Trout, who 20 years ago started WinStar Farm with the vision of hoping to win awards like this. Thank you all, and have a great night.
Congratulations again to WinStar Farm, our 2020 champion breeder. WinStar is one of more than a dozen Central Kentucky farms and organizations that provide financial support to the Locust Trace Agri-Science Center and its partnership with the Legacy Equine Academy, a nonprofit that works with African American and racially diverse youth to expose them to the modern traditions and vast opportunities available within the horse racing industry. The program presents students with the chance to build life skills while learning horsemanship through a base curriculum and instruction at Locust Trace. And in the process, it also offers a new audience a pathway to industry certification and professional career opportunities. And in a year that has proven to be challenging on so many fronts, we salute all who support the quest to improve diversity and inclusion throughout the sport and industry.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 8. Whether running 5.5 furlongs as she did, earning her first stakes win in the Fashion Stakes, or taking the 1.5 Coaching Club American Oaks to complete a sweep of the Triple Tiara, Ruffian, the near-black filly, dismissed challengers with ruthless ease in her 10 career victories. 8 of her stakes races resulted in stakes records, and she handily earned the Eclipse Awards for divisional honors in 1974 and 75.
As we said earlier, a lot of people had to rearrange schedules along the way in 2020. None more than those training 3-year-olds, but what memories they gave us. And now for the 3-year-old champions of 2020, let's go back to Janine and Brittany.
She may not be quite ready for Pop Warner or T-ball, but this little gal could be the next star athlete of tomorrow. Hey, could be a Kentucky Oaks winner, or if she dreams really big, maybe win a Triple Crown race, like one of the finalists for our champion 3-year-old filly did. In fact, these fillies stamped themselves with elite performances and unique qualities, but only one can take the title. So here are the finalists for champion 3-year-old filly. Now you watch and pay attention. This could be you one day.
The spectacular filly Gamine was not restricted to a specific distance, but how she did love 7 furlongs. Gamine won the Longines Acorn by 18 lengths at a mile, before adding a pair of runaway Grade 1 wins at her preferred distance. First, the Test Stakes, and then the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. It takes a certain daring to contest the greatest races in any division, and She Dares the Devil embraced concept in name and performance. During a campaign from February into November, the highest of highlights was victory in the time-honored Kentucky Oaks. Swiss Skydiver is most renowned for winning the Preakness, a hard-fought nose victory over the best of the boys. Her coast-to-coast campaign brought her 4 other graded races, including the Alabama, among the most revered races for 3-year-old fillies at Saratoga.
And the Eclipse Award goes to Swiss Skydiver, a bargain $35,000 Keeneland yearling, small in stature, huge in heart. Swiss Skydiver joined the likes of Genuine Risk, Winning Colors, and Rachel Alexandra as Triple Crown race heroines, defeating Horse of the Year candidate Authentic in a duel for the ages. Wonder what she'll do for an encore? Accepting the champion 3-year-old filly Eclipse is trainer Kenny McPeak.
On behalf of Peter Callahan and his family, I want to thank everyone for the award of 3-year-old champion filly for Swiss Skydiver. It's been an amazing year. She took us north, south, east, west. Such a special filly, and we're really honored to accept the award for champion 3-year-old filly. Thanks to everybody.
Much like one of this year's finalists for champion 3-year-old, Authentic, crown champions of the past have given us a little bit of everything. American Pharoah gave us Triple Crown hope after a 37-year drought. Unbridled and owner Francis Genter reminded us the childlike glee this sport can provide, and Affirmed proved that you can't put a price on heart and determination. Those are just a few of the many champions that have left a lasting impression. Here are the finalists, along with Authentic, for champion 3-year-old male.
Even in a year when racing's calendar was unfamiliar, the record of Authentic had a very classic ring. Victory in the Kentucky Derby, presented by Woodford Reserve, and 2 other Grade 1 races, followed by the achievement of defeating older horses in the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic itself. Nadal was named for a tennis champion who has conquered all comers, and the undefeated Colt seemed to have similar potential before his injury. He held serve most impressively in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. Tiz the Law summoned memories of Sakatoga Stable and Barkley Tag from the Funny Side campaign of 2003. Tiz the Law finally gave that group their Belmont Stakes win, taking the 3-year-old classic between the Florida Derby and the Travers Stakes.
The Eclipse Award goes to Authentic. Authentic was a 2018 Keeneland September yearling sales grad, a consistent performer in a year that was anything but. The Derby and Classic winner now resides here at Spendthrift Farm, about to embark on his highly anticipated second career as a stallion. Accepting the award on behalf of the ownership group is Ned Toffee of Spendthrift Farm and Starlight Racing's Jack Wolf.
On behalf of Authentic and all of us here at Spendthrift Farm, we'd like to thank the NTRA, all of the turf riders that voted for him, our great partners in Starlight, Mattakit, and My Racehorse, and in particular, we'd like to thank Peter Bloom for breeding such a wonderful horse.
And SF Bloodstock and Starlight, the great Bloodstock team that put together with Donato and Frankie Brothers, and of course Bob Baffert was on the team and did such a great job of training the horse, Johnny V riding the horse, and the grandsire being Harlan's Holiday. Congrats.
Triple Crown that started with the Belmont the first Saturday in September for the Kentucky Derby. Yes, all kinds of changes along the way for everyone in horse racing, including those that cover the sport so well. Here now are the media awards.
The Eclipse Award for live racing programming goes to NBC Sports for the Breeders' Cup World Championships, airing from Keeneland Racecourse on November 7th.
On behalf of our entire NBC team, I'm honored to accept this year's Eclipse Award for live racing programming. Under extremely challenging circumstances, I'm especially proud of what we were able to accomplish at this year's World Championships. It's a tribute to the incredible collaboration between our great partners at the Breeders' Cup, Keeneland Racecourse, and Car Hughes Productions that we were able to bring what I truly believe was one of the best ever World Championships from a production perspective to viewers across the country. I know I speak for our entire team when I say we look forward to continuing to push the envelope in horse racing coverage for many years to come. Thank you for the recognition.
NBC Sports and the Hennigan Brothers win the featured television category for Riders Up, the world's first sports bubble.
Hey everyone, thank you so much. Incredible honor. We want to thank everyone at the Eclipse Awards. Big thanks to NBC Sports, especially Lindsay Shanzer and Gary Quinn. Thank you guys.
And I also want to thank everyone from the Santa Anita family that allowed us to do this film and helped us with this film. With Belinda, Craig, Aiden, David, Amy, Nate, the entire jockey colony of Santa Anita. It was an amazing experience. We quarantined there with them in the parking lot. Hopefully we'll never have to do it again, but we'll never forget it. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone.
The Eclipse Award for feature commentary writing goes to Natalie Voss for her article, An Angel on His Shoulder. This thoroughbred's fate was written in ink in the Pollock Report. Voss also wins the News Enterprise Writing Eclipse Award for her multi-part series, A Decade In, How Are We Doing with Thoroughbred Aftercare, in the Pollock Report.
I'm honored and humbled to have won both Eclipse Awards for turf riding this year. I'm really delighted that both winning entries highlighted Thoroughbred Aftercare, and I think that really demonstrates that there are just as many compelling and important stories as horses leave the racetrack as there are in the foaling stall or in the shed row. I'm grateful every day for our entire team at the Pollock Report, particularly our publisher, Ray Pollock, and my husband, Joe Nevels, who's also our Bloodstock editor. I want to thank everyone who spoke to me for these pieces and told me their stories and offered me their perspective. But mostly I want to thank the horses who have given me everything that I have.
The Audio Multimedia Internet Eclipse Award goes to Thoroughbred Daily News for To Hell and Back. Belmont marks a deserved triumph for New York City.
Winning an Eclipse Award is an honor like no other in racing, and I'm immensely grateful to have been selected this year. This is something I couldn't have even pictured a couple of years ago. I have to thank Patty Wolf, our brilliant producer, and her talented team of editors for illustrating my words so beautifully. Sue Finley, our publisher at the TDN, for her support for my work, and everybody in New York City for banding together, and we showed that when push comes to shove, we have each other's backs.
I'm only sitting here because of Joe Bianca's great words, Sue Finley's constant encouragement, and the dedication of our editor, Anthony LaRocca. I'm humbled to be recognized by the industry I love. Thank you.
The Eclipse Award for Photography goes to Alex Evers for his image, A Derby Without Fans, in the Pollock Report.
First, what an incredible honor. It's a lifelong dream to win an Eclipse Award. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Kelly. She's my everything. Without her, none of this would be possible. I'd like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, my sister for their endless support of my love of horse racing. Scott Serio, big thanks. You've changed my life. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my mentor, Mike Martin, who taught me so much about the camera. As a kid growing up on the rail, wanting to be a jockey or a trainer or just be a part of horse racing, this is such an incredible honor. Lastly, Papa Ernie, this one's for you.
Well, being there, the empty stands certainly provided an eerie backdrop for the Kentucky Derby in many ways. But while the stands were empty, hearts were full of excitement with the Run for the Roses, even if it was in September. And it presents now the FanDuel NTRA Moment of the Year. Thoroughbred racing soldiered on in 2020, albeit with some unprecedented schedule changes that we never could have imagined. Perhaps the biggest change, of course, delivered the FanDuel Moment of the Year, based on the results of votes cast by fans. That was Authentic's stirring triumph in the 146th Kentucky Derby, presented by Woodford Reserve. Authentic's Derby victory gave historic Spendthrift Farm its first win in the race under the helm of B. Wayne Hughes. And adding to the magnitude of the moment was the fact that Authentic's triumph ignited a celebration for more than 5,000 owners who comprise My Racehorse stable, one of several partners in the ownership of Authentic, along with Starlight Racing, Madaket Stables, and of course, Spendthrift.
It's Tis the Law on the outside of Authentic. These two stride for stride as they come to the final furlong. Authentic is digging in. Tis the Law all out to get by him. Authentic and John Velasquez have the lead as they come down to the 16th ball. Tis the Law still trying to get him. Authentic, Tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby. John Velasquez does it with Authentic.
I'm so excited and honored to accept this award on behalf of the partnership. And what an amazing partnership it is with Mr. B. Wayne Hughes and Madaket Stables and Starlight Racing. And of course, the 5,314 My Racehorse owners that went on this journey with us. And what a moment it was, especially this year, to have this joy, to have this thrill. It's something that we'll cherish for a long, long time. And a special thanks to Bob Baffert for training this amazing talent and bringing the best out in him, and Johnny V for another Hall of Fame ride, and a special thanks to B. Wayne Hughes for making this moment possible and getting all the ownership involved. So we do appreciate and are thankful for this recognition.
The 50th Eclipse Awards are presented by historic Spendthrift Farm and brought to you by Jackson Family Wines, Dean Dorton, Rood and Riddle, the Florida HBPA, the Racetrack Television Network, and Run Happy.
Get ready, because in 2021, the Breeders' Cup returns to Del Mar. The best in the sport on the ultimate stage. Expect lights, cameras, and non-stop action.
The level of racing that he's achieved is extremely rare. Anybody who's witnessed Mitole running sees a level of ability that doesn't come along that often.
Mitole's a monster! Mitole wins the sprint! Oh, what a horse he is! Mitole, he did it again! Wins the mid-mile!
The only thing to be better than one Mitole's a few Mitole's.
The mighty Mitole, who won the Fargo by 3.5 lengths, the new stakes record.
In 2020, everything changed. But we kept going. Because despite the challenges, we all share a commitment to the industry, to the community, to the horse. To come together when it matters most, as we always have, as we always will.
Get ready, because in 2021, the Breeders' Cup returns to Del Mar. The best in the sport on the ultimate stage. Expect lights, cameras, and non-stop action.
Welcome back to the 50th Eclipse Awards, presented by Spendthrift Farm.
Well, what a year it was for Walker Buehler. In addition to being part owner along with 5,000 other people in MyRacehorse.com, of Authentic. He also happened to pick up a ring as a World Series champ for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's one of the best pitchers in the game, and here he is now to deliver the 2-year-old Male Champion Award.
Thanks, Kenny. It's great to be part of the program tonight to present Champion 2-year-old Male. As incredible as it was to win a World Series, the thrill was nearly the same being part of Team Authentic and his Derby and Breeders' Cup Classic win. One of the marks of a great team is a strong history, and I'm happy to be here tonight with the Spendthrift team. Wayne Hughes started out with Malibu Moon, and just as I'm following guys like Sandy Koufax to the mound, I hope Authentic is able to follow Malibu Moon's success in siring classic horses. Here are your finalists for Champion 2-year-old Male.
Late development is common among 2-year-olds, and Essential Quality typified that pattern. He made his debut in September and won all 3 of his races, including the Grade 1 Claiborne Breeders' Futurity and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, presented by Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. The advent of Breeders' Cup grass races for juveniles some years ago helped strengthen those divisions. In 2020, Fire at Will already had 2 Turf Stakes wins before he scored in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, presented by Coolmore America. Jackie's Warrior thought being a racehorse means always being in front. The strategy worked through his first 4 races, featuring wire-to-wire performances in the Grade 1 Hopeful and Champagne Stakes.
And the Eclipse goes to Essential Quality. Congratulations. Accepting is Godolphin Racing Manager Jimmy Bell.
As I've said many times before, it's always a pleasure to represent His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, and none more enjoyable than on an evening such as tonight. We certainly want to thank all the voters who saw fit to make Essential Quality their Champion 2-year-old, and a quick thank you to Brad Cox and his entire team for the patience they showed in developing this colt. In all fairness, Brad told us early on that we thought he had a real runner on his hands, and to his credit, he didn't make his first start until September. Sheikh Mohammed also enjoyed following along his progress and greatly enjoyed watching his run in the Breeders' Cup. I certainly want to stop and thank the folks at the farm for their hand in raising another top athlete. We're all anxiously awaiting his 3-year-old debut, and we can only hope that he continues to be as happy and healthy as he is today. On behalf of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed again, thank you so much for voting Essential Quality as your Champion 2-year-old.
And now with the 2-year-old filly award, let's go to Santa Anita Park and Jay Pribman.
Number to Count was the first winner of Champion 2-year-old filly for the Eclipse Awards back in 1971. She ran 10 times that year, won 8 of those races, 7 of which were stakes, including some of the biggest races in the country, like the Spinaway, the Adirondack, and the Frizette. Now since then, the roll call of winners has included 5 Hall of Famers: Go for Wand, La Prevoyante, Open Mind, Ruffian, and Silver Bullet Day, as well as some familiar names as Land Lucy, Songbird, and a slam dunk future Hall of Famer in Beholder. Here now are the 3 finalists for the 2020 Eclipse Award for Champion 2-year-old filly, all of whom are hoping to follow in those footsteps.
In the 2-year-old filly turf division, the late developers included Aunt Pearl, unbeaten in 3 races beginning in September. In the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf, it was almost a natural exacta, as Aunt Pearl won against not Mother of Pearl, but Mother Earth. The filly with the tongue-twister name Day Out of the Office made a mark at the historic Saratoga meeting, where she won the Schuylerville. She then stepped up to Grade 1 level for Belmont Park's Frizette Stakes. In the defining race for the Juvenile Filly division, the first 2 runners in the Frizette met again in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Vequist, who had won the Spinaway, bounced back to turn the tables on Day Out of the Office in the climactic Breeders' Cup at Keeneland.
And the Eclipse goes to Vequist. Accepting the award for Vequist is co-owner Gary Barber. Vequist was a graduate of the 2019 Keeneland September yearling sale. She's currently at Palm Meadows Training Center in Florida, preparing for her 3-year-old campaign with trainer Butch Reed.
On behalf of Team VQuest, I want to thank you for this tremendous award for our brilliant filly, who's now 2-year-old champion. Thanks to Butch Reed on an outstanding training job, and to his wife Ginny and their whole team for taking care of the filly day in and day out. I also want to thank our partners. To Tom McGrath, the breeder, thank you for letting us in. And to my longtime partner and great friend, Adam Wachtel, thank you. And this is one of the many successes together. And to Joel Rosario, what an amazing ride in the Breeders' Cup. And to my family, thank you for supporting me all this time during this tremendous era of racing. A few personal salutations to the frontline workers who have their bravery have taken care of all of the patients during this pandemic. I'd also like to salute the racing community, to the racing office for all that they do, to all the trainers, to all the jocks, to all the vets, and especially to the backstretch workers. A special salute. Thank you for keeping racing going during these difficult times. On a personal note, thank you to my trainers and jocks who have given me a remarkable year of 19 graded stakes victories. It truly is a year of a lifetime, at least in my book. And thank you to everyone in racing, and hope to see you trackside.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 7. John Henry morphed from an $1,100 purchase into a 2-time Horse of the Year. Beneath his cantankerous personality was an indefatigable heart that carried him to 17 Grade 1 stakes victories over 8 years of racing on dirt and turf. It was his victory in the inaugural Arlington Million in 1981 that most captured his grit as he outfought the Bart in a legendary stretch duel to win by a nose.
Even a horse like John Henry didn't do it alone, and 2 of his many jockeys, Lafitte Pincay Jr. and Angel Cordero Jr., joined Jerry Bailey, John Velasquez, and Javier Castellano on the ballot for the fans' pick as the top Eclipse Award-winning rider of the last 50 years. And here is their champion.
Hall of Fame jockey Lafitte Pincay Jr. would win 4 of his 5 career Eclipse Awards before again claiming the trophy in 1985. Pincay led all U.S. jockeys in earnings every year from 1970 through 74, and again in 1979 and 1985, and retired in April of 2003 as the all-time winningest jockey at that time with 9,530 victories.
And now for the Jockey Awards, and how appropriate it is that we have an Eclipse Award winner and Hall of Fame jockey to present it. Here's Gary Stevens.
I've won a lot of awards during my career, but I was never even considered for Champion Apprentice. It took me a while to get rolling. You 3 nominees have started off with successful careers already. You should continue to strive for that success, and you could do as other Eclipse Award winners of Champion Apprentice and go on to greatness. Here are your nominees.
The Apprentice Jockey category honors the immediate past, but is a category with overtones of the future. After all, Apprentice Eclipse Award winners include many who have forged ahead to lengthy careers. Names such as McCarran, Cawthon, DeSormo, and more recently, Le Peru, Talamo, and Gaffleon. Tonight's finalists also present the potential for lasting stardom. Leader in earnings with nearly $2 million is Luis Cardenas. Leader in wins with more than 100 is Yamiri Correa. Right up among the leaders in both earnings and victories is Alexander Crispin.
And your 2020 winner for Champion Apprentice is Alexander Crispin.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank God for keeping me safe and healthy throughout the year. Thank you to all the voters who voted for me. This award will always be very special to me. Thank you to all the owners, trainers, and staff for letting me ride their horses and Thank you so much. Without you guys, this award wouldn't be possible. I would like to thank my agents, Kevin Whitty and Mark Mays, for their hard work and dedication. Alex Centra and Jose Ramos for being such a big part in my year. Again, thank you all. Thank you everyone for making all this possible. Again, thank you.
The first winner in this category was in 1971, Lafitte Pincay. He went on to win a total of 5 Eclipse Awards. Jerry Bailey topped that with 7. The list of greats: Bill Shoemaker, Chris McCarron, Angel Cordero, Braulio Baeza, Mike Smith. I could go on and on with this list. The 3 riders that are nominated for this category, they're included in that list of greatness. 2020 was a trying year for everyone, and these riders brought their skills and greatness to a whole new level. They all deserve to be used in that same list. Matter of fact, all 3 of them are already on that list. Now, here are your nominees.
Two-time defending Eclipse Award winning jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. was the leading earner among jockeys in 2020 when his mounts earned $21 million. His many top-level wins included the Pegasus World Cup on Mucho Gusto, and his Breeders' Cup success earned him the Bill Shoemaker Award. Ortiz's 2 Breeders' Cup wins included the rousing stretch drive of old-timer Whitmore in the sprint. A 3-time finalist in the jockey category, Joel Rosario won 11 Grade 1 races, and his mounts earned him $18 million. Highlights included the Santa Anita Handicap and the Champagne Stakes. And then Rosario's pair of Breeders' Cup victories included the juvenile fillies aboard VQuest. Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez added 5 more Grade 1s to his extensive career achievements, as his mounts racked up $15.4 million. Johnny championed the likes of Gamine, added another Kentucky Derby with Authentic, and then capped the year with a Breeders' Cup Classic.
And your 2020 winner for champion jockey, once again, Irad Ortiz.
Hi, I want to say thanks to everyone. I want to say thanks to the voters for voting for me. I want to say thanks to all the trainers and owners for supporting me. Last couple of years, they've been supporting me a lot. So, I'm so happy. I feel blessed. I thank God for keeping me healthy, in one piece. I want to say thanks to my agent, Steve Rochin, for doing a great job with me. It was a hard year can't go out, can't see the trainers, can't see the owners. So he did a really good job, and I'm so happy. Thank you again. And it's been a hard year for us, the jockeys, to follow the horses. So one more time, I want to say thanks to the trainers and owners for the big support. I'm so happy, and thank you for giving me the confidence. I appreciate it. Thanks to my family too for supporting me.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 6. Affirmed carved out an exceptional niche with 2 Horse of the Year titles and divisional honors. His first of 7 victories over Alydar would come in the 1977 Youthful Stakes. As great as their 10 meetings were, it was their wars in the 1978 Triple Crown that captivated the sport. None more than the stretch of the Belmont Stakes, where Affirmed refused to yield, en route to becoming the 11th horse to sweep the classics.
In addition to the top 10 all-time favorite equine champions, fans were asked to select their favorite champion trainer from a list that included Hall of Famers Laz Barrera, D. Wayne Lukas, Bob Baffert, and future Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. Let's look at the all-time greatest trainers as voted upon by the fans.
Bob Baffert won 4 Eclipse Awards for Outstanding Trainer, including 3 straight from 1997 through 1999. His first Eclipse Award came the same year he trained his first thoroughbred champion, Silver Charm. Baffert has 16 Triple Crown races, including saddling American Pharoah and Justified to their respective historic sweeps in 2015 and 2018.
Justified from Gronkowski. He's just perfect.
Congratulations to two-time Triple Crown winner Bob Baffert. You, the fans, voting for him as the all-time trainer. And certainly if there's a Mount Rushmore, it's hard to say Bob Baffert wouldn't be the first on that. And now it's time for the Trainer of 2020. And with the finalists for that, let's go to the ESPN studios and a man who has hosted the Eclipse Awards in the past, our friend Kenny Mayne.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me as part of this again. They told me to keep the remarks short, so just like 30 to 40 minutes. There'll be an opaque projector. Everybody put on your 3D glasses. No, I'm just going to go like 3 furlongs worth of time here dedicated to outstanding trainer. But first, I want to give my appreciation. I think I speak for many who love the game, the appreciation for all the men and women who get up at 4 and 5 in the morning and do that hard work getting the horses prepared. I'm sleeping at that hour, okay? Then I'm going to have breakfast, then I'm going to read the form, but I'll see you at the track later. Right now, here are the finalists.
Twice an Eclipse Award winner, Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen scaled more heights in 2020, the second trainer in history with 9,000 wins. He had yearly totals of 422 wins and $20 million, both national best of the year. Asmussen's 17 graded stakes included an historic pair with Jackie's Warrior, first in the Hopeful and then in the Champagne Stakes at Belmont Park. Four-time Eclipse Award winner Bob Baffert kept rolling in 2020 with nearly 100 winners and $18.9 million. Especially memorable was the day Baffert matched Ben A. Jones's record with his sixth Kentucky Derby. His prized Authentic was certainly up to the task of making history the day he challenged the Run for the Roses. Brad Cox had been a finalist in 2019, and he punctuated an outstanding 2020 with no fewer than 4 Breeders' Cup wins. Among a total of 216 races won and earnings of $18.9 million, one of Brad's Breeders' Cup scores was with Nick Sco in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
And the Eclipse goes to Brad Cox. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you and good evening. I would like to start by thanking the NTRA and the voters. I would like to give a special thank you to my family, my wife Livia, my sons Bryson, Blake, Brody, my mother, my father, and my brother Doug. Without their love, this would not be possible. I would like to thank my 4 assistants, Jorge Abregu, Ricky Giannini, Tessa Bishop, and Dustin Dugas. Without their hard work and commitment to our stable, this would not be possible. I would like to thank the horses, the clients, and everyone that has made this journey with us. I would like to wish everyone a happy and safe and healthy 2021 racing season.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 5. After Bill Mott shifted Cigar to dirt, beginning with an allowance race at Aqueduct in 1994, the Bay Horse reeled off 16 consecutive victories, including his signature win in the 1995 Breeders' Cup Classic that capped a 10-for-10 season and first of 2 Horse of the Year titles.
And here he is, the incomparable, invincible, unbeatable Cigar!
The Eclipse Awards for sprinters, turf horses, and the countdown for Horse of the Year when the 50th Eclipse Awards returns.
Isn't it great when things come together just right? Four Roses Small Batch brings together 4 of our 10 distinct bourbon recipes to achieve an award-winning bourbon with exceptional balance and a smoothness that's enjoyable neat, on the rocks, or is the foundation of a craft cocktail. Four Roses Small Batch, a perfectly balanced top-shelf staple. Be mellow. Be responsible.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile past performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the new mobile optimized DRF past performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
Welcome back to the 50th Eclipse Awards, presented by Spendthrift Farm.
It's time now for the winners in the sprint category. And with that, let's go back out to Spendthrift Farm and Brittany and Janine.
Fast and furious. That's what we love about sprinters. Last year's champion sprinter Matoli would know a thing or two about that. But this category doesn't always play to type. It doesn't always give us the expected, crowning versatile sorts like Ack-Ack, Forgo, and Gulch to traditional speedsters like Midnight Loot, Speightstown, and Kona Gold. This year's group exemplified that notion, bringing together precociousness, consistency, brilliant speed, with ultimately pure heart, determination, and perseverance. Here are this year's finalists for Champion Male Sprinter.
As a 4-year-old, Vekoma was versatile enough to be a finalist in both the overall older male category and the sprint division. A gaudy display of the sprinter's game came in the 7-furlong Grade 1 Carter Handicap. Short, unbeaten campaigns turned in by championship contenders last year included the trilogy posted by Volatile. The 4-year-old's resume of wins included the Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. The veteran campaigner Whitmore was 7 years old in 2020 when 3 victories brought his career total of wins to 15 and earnings of more than $4 million. He saved the very best for last, as old Whitmore took on 13 opponents all younger than him in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
To announce this year's winner, a man we owe many thanks to as a firm supporter of this industry during very difficult times. Owner of 2015 champion sprinter Run Happy, Jim McIngvale.
It is a pleasure to present this Champion Sprinter Award as our Eclipse Award winning champion. Run Happy brought so much pleasure to myself and my family. I'm sure all the finalists here tonight derived the same amount of pleasure from their great horses that were competing in the sprint division in 2020. I wish to take this time to congratulate all the hardworking women and men of racing who turned 2020 into a good year when it could have been, as we know, a disaster. Thanks to all the backstretch workers, thanks to all the trainers, thanks to all the horsemen, thanks to all the owners, thanks to the track executives, thanks to all the media people, thanks most of all to all the fans who came to the support of racing and turned 2020 into what could have been a disastrous year into a good year for racing, considering all the difficulties. Once again, tough times never last, tough people do, and the people of racing proved how tough, how resilient, how resourceful they were during 2020. Congratulations on having a successful 2020. Here's looking to a bigger and better 2021 for all of us in racing. And now the Champion Sprinter Award goes to Whitmore. Congratulations, Whitmore.
Whitmore found his way into our hearts with his true warhorse attitude. His and his team's perseverance rewarded in this year's Breeders' Cup Sprint, as 4th time was a charm. Accepting the award for Champion Sprinter on behalf of Whitmore's ownership group is co-owner Bob LaPenta.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to accept Whitmore's Eclipse Award for Champion Male Sprinter on behalf of my partners, Saul Coombs, head of Plains Stables, and Ron Mulcatt. 2020 will be a year that none of us will ever forget. The world came to a standstill, and fortunately for us, horse racing provided an escape from all of the sadness that was around us. For all of us horse owners in this incredible sport, we know how difficult it is to find a champion horse. Despite the hundreds of millions of dollars that are spent buying thousands of horses, only 2.5% are ever able to win a Grade 1 race. Whitmore is one of them. Ron and his team deserve all the credit for keeping him fit, healthy, and happy over his incredible 7-year career. The emotional connection between Ron and Whitmore is unbelievable. Greta Gertzweiler and Laura Marquette, his morning riders, the blacksmiths, the grooms, the vets, all deserve an incredible amount of credit for what Whitmore has been able to achieve over his illustrious 7-year career. Whitmore represents not only what's important in horse racing, but what's important in life. He's an incredible athlete, gives 100% every time he goes out. And whenever he falls short, he comes back and he wins. His win in the Breeders' Cup Sprint is an example of how great Whitmore is. He's become a national hero. He has millions of followers on Instagram and Facebook. And he has proven that sometimes the older generation can succeed over the juveniles. He's been unbelievable. May God keep Whitmore healthy and happy in the years to come. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Good night.
We spent some time with Queen Bee, but now it's the King's turn. Into Mischief has blown the doors off the stallion records in his short career here at Spencer Farm, leading the general sire list the last 2 years. Just as impressive are his 3 Eclipse finalists in 5 categories. He is a hot ticket. You know the breeding shed opens February 10th, right? And you do know you have a date with Serengeti Empress? She's one of the finalists for Champions Female Sprinter.
Among runners who are finalists in 2 categories, a pair are in the female sprint division. Gamine concluded her campaign not respecting her elders in winning the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Her earlier wins included the prestigious Test at Saratoga. The history of the Eclipse Awards has been distinguished by Europeans who have shipped to win a Breeders' Cup race. Such is the case with Glass Slippers, a Group 1 European winner whose day in the bluegrass sun saw her take the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Like Gamine, Serengeti Empress is another double category finalist who thrived on the lead. The 4-year-old's pair of graded stakes wins came in the Azeri prior to this win in Saratoga's Ballerina.
And the Eclipse goes to Gamine, who becomes the 2nd straight champion female sprinter for Into Mischief, who also sired 2019 champ Kofefe. Gamine is a Keeneland-September grad and is currently galloping at Santa Anita for Bob Baffert, who compares her to Audrey Hepburn, poised, elegant, and no stage too big. Accepting the Eclipse for Gamine is her owner, Michael Lund.
A weird experience sitting here at home receiving an award like that, but that doesn't mean I'm not very, very grateful and honored about all the people that have voted for my wonderful horse, Gamine. She has been a thrill, I guess a once-in-a-lifetime horse, at least for, in my mind, that I would ever get any horse that would be similar to her. The 3 races, G1 races she ran this year was just out of this world. And I couldn't be more grateful for being part of a fantastic team as well, because not only is Gamine a great horse, but Bob Baffert and his barn and John Velasquez and Donato Lani has all been, you're never better than your team you surround yourself with. And I have, in my estimation, the best team in the world. And I never dreamt that I would ever sit here and get an award like this. If I had it in my hand, I would kiss it. So, thank you to all the people that voted for us. And thank you for being part of this great business. It's when I was a young man, I went to the racetrack in Copenhagen, and that I would ever sit here 40 years later and receive an award like this is beyond my dreams. So I just wanted to say thank you very much.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 4. After living up to his favoritism with a victory in the 2015 Kentucky Derby, American Pharoah splashed his way to a 7-length triumph in the Preakness Stakes before sauntering to victory in the Belmont Stakes to become the first horse to sweep the American Classic since affirmed in 1978. A fitting stamp to his Horse of the Year campaign came in his final start as American Pharoah led every point of call to capture the Breeders' Cup Classic at Keeneland.
This time of the year, the grass is always greener in Florida, so how appropriate we go there to hear now who are the champions in the turf divisions. And with that, at Gulfstream Park, Gabby Gaudet and Acacia Courtney.
In recent years, we've been lucky to have witnessed examples of true brilliance and great triumph in this next division. Lady Eli survived laminitis only to be crowned champion 2 years later. Tepin, she made the U.S. proud as she became the first American-based horse to win the prestigious Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot. And of course, the late Goldakova. She still remains the only horse, male or female, to have won the same Breeders' Cup race 3 times. She was breathtaking around the world. Mares such as those are the reason why this next category is one of my personal favorites. Here are the finalists for Outstanding Turf Female.
Prior to her international challenge in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, Auderia had won 2 of her last 3 races in France. In the other, she finished 3rd behind Tarnawa, another finalist in this category. Auderia was taken back early in her Breeders' Cup race before a powerful stretch run. For consistency, Rushing Fall is difficult to match. She won a total of 11 of 15 races and was second 3 times. At 5 in 2020, Rushing Fall preceded her runner-up Breeders' Cup trip with 3 graded stakes wins, 2 of them coming in Grade 1 races, the Jenny Wiley and then the Diana. In 1984, the inaugural year of the Breeders' Cup marked the first Breeders' Cup turf win for the Aga Khan. The most recent win for His Highness came in 2020, when his filly Tarnawa completed a perfect season. After winning 3 races, including 2 Group 1s in France, Tarnawa took on a strong field of both genders in the turf at Keeneland.
And the Eclipse Award goes to Rushing Fall. Rushing Fall had a multiple Grade 1 winning season with victories in the Grade 1 Diana and Coolmore Jenny Wiley. She was nominated as a finalist in 2017 and 18, but receives her first Eclipse Award tonight. Accepting the award is Bob Edwards with E5 Racing.
Thank you. This is an amazing accomplishment for our stable, for the horse. Rushing Fall has been such a gift for our stable. It's been an unbelievable year in 2020. We started the year late. We ran in the Beaugay in June 3rd, Grade 3. She won easily. We went to the Jenny Wiley, where she set the track record, and then on to Diana to get our first Grade 1 in Saratoga. She's won Grade 1s at 2, 3, 4, and 5, putting her in a league company with Beholder, a champion, and Lady Eli, another champion. Racing is a phenomenal sport, and it's full of connections. And without those connections, we wouldn't be here today. My family and I would love to thank the NTRA, the turf writers, for always making me good when I mix up words and kind of clearing what I'm thinking. Mike Ryan, who's been my bloodstock agent, my mentor, my partner, my friend. Without Mike, we wouldn't have these opportunities to have such great horses. Ian Brennan and his team at Stone Street, they get the babies, they take care of the babies in the off season, and him and his team have done a phenomenal job maintaining the careers of my horses. Chad Brown, who we've had a great success with. Chad's, not only a trainer, he's a friend. Chad and his team have done an unbelievable job managing careers, getting the horses to the track, keeping them sound, and keeping them winning. Thank you to Chad and his team. Javier Castellano, our Hall of Fame jockey, has just rode her with confidence her entire career. Javier's done a phenomenal job, and Javier is a big part of the team and a big part of Rushing Fall's success. Fred Hertrich and John Fielding for breeding such an amazing equine athlete. she was a gift. Nothing really I can say that nobody's seen. She's been a fierce competitor her whole entire career. This year was just the icing on the cake, and we're super honored to have the opportunity to get an Eclipse Award. Thank you.
Names such as Kitten's Joy, English Channel, Geoponte, and Wise Dan immediately bring back memories of their outstanding feats on turf, as well as the legacies that they left. Last year's champion in this category, Bricks and Mortar, would also go on to be crowned Horse of the Year after a perfect 2019 campaign, serving as another reminder that those turf horses are not to be underestimated. Here are the finalists for Outstanding Male Turf Horse.
A hallmark of grass racing in the United States traditionally has been the ability to excel over distances of 1.5 miles. This tradition was taken at full flood by Channel Maker, who won back-to-back Grade 1 races over the testing route. First came the Sword Dancer at Saratoga, and he followed up with the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic at Belmont Park. By name and achievement, Order of Australia reminds us that horse racing is a sport of great international status. The son of English Derby winner Australia, Order of Australia won back-to-back races in Ireland, but was dismissed at 73-1 in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile, presented by the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. A victory in the Pegasus World Cup Turf at Gulfstream Park began the year for popular exclaiming horse Zulu Alpha. The 7-year-old Gelding added 2 more major wins in the McDermott and later the Elkhorn at Keeneland.
Here to present the 2020 Eclipse Award is Drew Fleming, President and CEO of the Breeders' Cup.
Thanks, Acacia. It's an honor to be here tonight to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Eclipse Awards, and it's an honor to be here in front of everyone to celebrate a magnificent year in racing, despite the many challenges, and it was a true testament how our industry came together. We're here to celebrate the Champion Male Turf Award, and the winner is Channel Maker.
Sold at the 2015 Keeneland September yearling sale, Channel Maker won back-to-back Grade 1s in front-running fashion. Accepting the award is co-owner Adam Wachtel.
This is a special honor during trying times. I asked my wife if in her wildest dreams she ever thought we'd win an Eclipse Award. She told me I wasn't in her wildest dreams. Always open with a joke. Thank you, Manny Franco, for the great job that you did riding Channel Maker this year. I'd like to thank Bill Mott and his whole team for their extraordinary work. This is another shining example of why Bill will be known as one of the great horsemen of our time. Dean and Randy, it's been an honor partnering with you. We need more guys like you in the sport. To Gary Barber, thank you for your friendship and for being a great partner. We've had a great ride together. I'd like to dedicate this award to my dad who brought me into the sport as a young guy. He taught me everything I know about horse racing. He taught me about patience and integrity really matters. I commend those who got behind the Horse Racing Safety and Integrity Act. I think that's a great start. It's time to get rid of the people that think cutting corners and using a veterinarian is the only way to win races. Time to go. Thank you, Channel Maker. You hold your head up high, but I think you're just looking for the winner's circle. Thank you.
As we look back over 2020 and honor the achievements of our equine and human stars, we also celebrate the incredible dedication of our entire industry. Beginning in March, when we didn't know what the year would bring, and throughout the year, behind the scenes and around the country, tens of thousands of essential men and women made sure that our horses were well cared for and that our sport continued to thrive. The struggles of the year also brought us immense progress in protecting the health of our equine and human athletes. We enacted much needed reform, and we innovated the ways in which we share our product, and we watch thrilling racing. I cannot wait for the next year and the opportunities that it will bring, and I cannot wait to celebrate next year with you in person. Cheers to resilient people and fast horses.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 3. The greatness of Zenyatta went beyond her 4 Total Eclipse Awards and 2010 Horse of the Year title. She went unbeaten in her first 19 career starts. Whether it was her win in the 2008 Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic or her history-making turn a year later when she became the first female to take the Breeders' Cup Classic, Zenyatta stirred hearts across the nation. Zenyatta's 13 career Grade 1 wins made her a first ballot Hall of Fame selection in 2016.
The 50th Eclipse Awards are presented by Historic Spendthrift Farm and brought to you by the Stronach Group, FanDuel Group, Hallway Feeds, Stone Street Farm, and the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association.
The level of racing that he's achieved is extremely rare. Anybody who's witnessed Mitole running sees a level of ability that doesn't come along that often.
Mitole's a monster! Mitole wins the sprint! Oh, what a horse he is! Mitole, he did it again! Wins the mid-mile!
The only thing to be better than one Mitole is a few Mitoles.
The mighty Mitole, who won the Fargo by 3.5 lengths, the new stakes record.
I was born in 1930 and have seen a lot of changes in my time. Service to the land, the people, that hasn't changed. We have been fortunate that we have fed 14 of the last 24 Kentucky Derby winners. Resilient, strong-willed, uncompromising when it comes to quality. After all we have to sell is service.
Established in 1982, Rood and Riddle Equine Hospital is a worldwide leader in equine healthcare, providing a full menu of specialties of services and treatment for all breeds and disciplines of horses, from the family companion to the high-performance athlete. Learn more today about Rood and Riddle Equine Hospital. Visit roodandriddle.com or call 888-773-4838.
Welcome back to the 50th Eclipse Awards. Throughout the evening, we have been honoring the very best of the best, the top 10 Eclipse Award champions from years past as voted by you, the fans. One lucky fan has been selected to win the grand prize, a trip for two to the horse racing capital of the world, Lexington, Kentucky. This lucky fan will enjoy a beautiful afternoon at Keeneland Racecourse, get to tour the Four Roses Bourbon Distillery, and visit the beautiful and historic Spendthrift Farm, our host for this evening. And the winner is Mary Holthouse. Mary fell in love with horse racing in 1973 when Secretariat swept the Triple Crown. She's been a passionate fan ever since, even getting into horse ownership by becoming a small shareholder in MyRacehorse.com. Congratulations to Mary. Enjoy your trip to Lexington, Kentucky, and thank you to all the fans who participated in this contest.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 2. Purchased for just $17,500 as a yearling, Seattle Slew would go on to stamp himself as a legend. He bullied his rivals in all three classics to become the first horse to sweep the Triple Crown while still unbeaten. More Eclipse Award acclaim would come after his 4-year-old season. He won 5 of 7 outings, including his victory over Affirmed in the 1978 Marlboro Cup.
Well, throughout this show, we've been counting down the top 10 as voted upon by you. We have gone through 9 of the greatest horses of all time. We're closing in on number 1. That coming up in just a matter of moments. But now it is time to see who is the outstanding owner of 2020. And here are the finalists.
The 2-time outstanding Eclipse Award-winning Godolphin won 80 races and earned $5.7 million in North America for the renowned international horseman Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai. The Godolphin success of 2020 also hinted at the challenges of 2021, when Essential Quality won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile with its hint for the classics of the current year. An Eclipse-winning owner of 2019, Klaravich Stable had another outstanding year in 2020. The stable, owned by Seth Klarman, won 70 races and earned $5.7 million. One of 4 Grade 1 wins was particularly gratifying as Newspaper of Record returned to her best form to win the Just a Game Stakes. An innovation in 2020 was the creation of My Racehorse Stable, which invited thousands of owners to have individual shares in racehorses. Organized by Spendthrift Farm LLC, My Racehorse Stable thus joined Matakit Stables and Starlight Racing, along with Spendthrift. They won 3 races, and what a trio that was! None other than Authentic was their star, as the partnership led the nation with $6.7 million. Authentic won the Haskell, the Kentucky Derby, and the Breeders' Cup Classic.
And the Eclipse Award for Outstanding Owner goes to Godolphin. And here to accept on behalf of Godolphin is Jimmy Bell.
Thanks, Kenny. This certainly puts an exclamation point on what has been a most exciting and enjoyable year of racing for Godolphin. Thank you again to the voters that made this happen, as well as a tip of the hat to the Klaravich Stable, as well as to the Authentic Racing Group for what had to be a very, very competitive category. Thank you too to our trainers for all your support and all the opportunities that you gave our horses over this past year. We really feel privileged to be a part of your operations. Godolphin's racing program both benefits and supports our breeding program. All 19 of our stakes performers that raced in 2020 were homebreds. The farm staff deserves a lot of credit for all the successes we're enjoying this evening. On a final note, this year will mark the beginning of the 5th decade that Sheikh Mohammed has been racing in the United States. He's enjoyed a lot of milestones along the way, and I'm sure that these Eclipse Awards rate very highly on his list of accomplishments. On behalf of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and our entire Godolphin team, thank you once again for this most prestigious honor.
What great moments they gave us in 2020, bringing us to the culmination of the evening, the moment you've been waiting for, the Horse of the Year Award. And here are the 3 finalists as presented by my 3 co-hosts. Here now, Brittany, Gabby, and Acacia.
This finalist was so much more than a racehorse. He was a dream maker for his owner who chased Kentucky Derby glory for decades. A record tire for his Hall of Fame trainer. He provided the missing puzzle piece for his Hall of Fame jockey. And he was a year of thrill and excitement for his thousands of owners. He was a beacon of hope amidst discouraging times, a constant in an inconsistent year. He was the real deal. This is Authentic.
2 Breeders' Cup Distaffs, 1 Kentucky Oaks, 7 Grade 1 wins, $4.4 million in earnings. Her resume chronicles her unbelievable talent, but the gaps in between those races represent her fortitude and determination. Her absence in 2019 left a massive void, but luckily she came back this past year to remind us all of what we missed. This is Monomoy Girl.
He was brilliant as a 2-year-old, winning his first 3 races in eye-catching fashion. He was troubled as a 3-year-old, with only 1 win on his resume and his quirks keeping him from showcasing the talent that his connections knew that he had. And then he was sensational as a 4-year-old, winning 3 Grade 1 races coast to coast. They didn't give up on him, and he rewarded their patience. This is improbable.
And now to present the Horse of the Year Award, here's the NTRA President, Alex Waldrop.
Thank you, Kenny. In an ordinary year, I would welcome all of you to the 50th Eclipse Awards ceremony. I would acknowledge our partners, the Daily Racing Forum and the National Turf Riders and Broadcasters Association. I would thank our many sponsors, including especially our friends here at Spendthrift Farm. And I would announce the 2020 Horse of the Year. But this is no ordinary year. This year, I want to extend a special thanks to so many people in this industry who worked so hard in the face of a deadly pandemic to care so well for our magnificent equine athletes and to put on the show. I also want to thank our customers and especially our horse players for faithfully continuing to watch and wager on our races. Together, this year, we not only made racing a possibility, but in many ways it was a success in 2020. Together, we can look forward in 2021 to the return of racing and to the return of normalcy. Meanwhile, please everyone, stay safe and stay healthy. And now, it's my honor and my privilege to announce the 2020 Horse of the Year, Authentic. Here to accept the award is owner Wayne Hughes.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. they made my day, okay, which is a big deal for me.
I've got to ask you, what's it like to have a horse that's a Derby winner and a Breeders' Cup Classic winner all in the same year? Not many owners have that experience. What's it like?
Well, I wish all the owners could have the same experience. It's a good experience. I mean, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to be a part of this.
You looking forward to the next part of his career, to seeing some of his babies grow up and race?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them quite a bit. I think his career is going to be great. We're very proud that the people that were involved here, all the breeders and everyone else that's supporting him to be what you see right now. He has a chance of having a brilliant career, but who knows, as God's in charge of that.
Great. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Look forward to his career as a stud.
Thank you.
Congratulations again to Mr. Hughes and the great team at Spendthrift and all those involved with Authentic, trainer Bob Baffert and company along the way. Now, throughout this evening, we have enjoyed counting down the all-time greatest Eclipse Award winners as voted on by you, the fans. Now it's time to reveal the fans' choice as the greatest champion over the first 50 years of the Eclipse Award era.
Counting down the top 10 all-time favorite Eclipse Awards champions from the past 50 years. Number 1. Few images in sport are as iconic as Secretariat's 31-length masterclass in the 1973 Belmont Stakes. Secretariat remains the standard against which modern equine greatness is measured. Secretariat cemented his legendary status during a sophomore campaign en route to earning the 1973 Eclipse Awards for Horse of the Year, Champion 3-Year-Old Male, and Champion Turf Male.
What a great evening. It's been an honor to be here for this, the 50th Annual Eclipse Awards. My thanks to my wonderful co-host. Congratulations to all the winners. Here's to a happy and healthy 2021 and some great racing ahead. I'm Kenny Rice. I'll see you at the track. Have a good evening, everyone.